Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur, as our great intro says, it's my partner in crime, it's Matt.
Are you, mate? How are you?
Knackered.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, I think you'll get this. You're in your 40s.
Yeah, thanks
at
for that.
Some point, you know when you got that. Everyone sort of say, "Hello, mate. How are you?" And you go, "Yeah, I'm all right." You. At some point, my default answer changed for "I'm all right" or "I'm okay" to "I'm tired."
Yeah.
I don't know when it happened. It might have been with kids. It might have been ever since my daughter was born. It's like, "Hello, mate, how you doing?" Knackered, just really tired.
Yeah. I think I
don't know where the days are going.
Oh, day gets like that. I think for me, I don't know if it's because I'm in my 40s or whatever, but
Yeah.
I wake up. I had a good night's sleep. I wake up tired, right? But
Yeah, what is that
yeah,
about?
but I have a coffee, and I'm like, it switches me awake. I'm like, that's what I needed. It's like I cannot wake up now without coffee. I can't wake up without it.
Yeah. The addictions.
Do you know, talking about coffee, I had to catch up with our patron yesterday, Dan, Polynesian Dan.
Really? How is he?
He's good. He because now he's high flying in his career. You know, so the guy's doing really well. So he's having to commute into London. You know, where it's all at, and it just so happened.
Where it all happens.
Yeah, and it just so happened that I think he had a connection that was about an hour and a half, and I was at work. He said, "Let's meet up for coffee." So, he'd been drinking coffee all day. So he was like, "Do you know what? I can't drink any more coffee." And it was about 6 in the evening. So he had a hot chocolate, but I had a coffee because I was still at work and I needed one.
No, Matt. No, he is the young one. Do you think he had a lot of coffee, or do you think he just wanted to have a nice hot chocolate?
Oh,
he's a unit. He's Polynesian Dan, but he's still a bit young. Do you maybe a nice little hot cocoa to help him on the way home?
Well, hopefully it did work, but yeah, do you know what? I did understand what you're saying, because when you get to that time in the day, coffee ain't good, is it? You ain't sleeping at night if you're drinking coffee in the evening.
No, it's funny because like when you're younger as well, it's like I remember going out nights out like nailing Red Bull, like vodka Red Bulls, and going home and crashing out no problem at all.
Yeah.
I do that now. Like I have a can of Red Bull 8 p.m. in the evening. At like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, "Ooh, isn't this fun?" Look, I've counted the roof tiles of next door's house 20 times.
I am not sleeping tonight.
No, world's mental. So I wanted to open the show. Obviously, it's been a surreal week in the United Kingdom following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. And football got suspended, so our game against Man City didn't go ahead. I always said Queen Elizabeth was a Tottenham fan. She gave us that break. Do you find it's just been surreal? I mean, I'm guessing you're bloody busy working on the railways in a minute with people coming into London. Yeah,
do you know, they said, I think it's for the weekend, maybe not just the weekend, but because I think the funeral's on Monday, isn't it? I think
it is, yeah.
They've said that if you imagine every single major event that's ever happened in London, so like you think of like the FA Cup final, all the different kind of things, the big events we've had, all the royal events, if you put the top 5 biggest events that have ever happened in London together in one day, that's going to be the day. Yeah. So can you imagine how busy it's going to get?
Oh, mate, are you
busy
working?
Already. I am working Monday. They'll give me a loo day, and I feel like I'm going to deserve that loo day.
Yeah, I think you are.
But I'm not working the weekend, thank God.
I think anyone working Monday in London, full credit to you, because that is going to be busy.
Oh, it really is. It really is.
But yeah, did you think it's just felt surreal? It's like, even if you're not a royalist or someone who really follows the family, it's just like she's always there. It's like always there, always in the background, doing her thing, and now she's not, and it's like, that's odd. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, because we've all known she was getting old, so you're kind of in the back of your mind thinking, well, this is what's going to happen when she's going to die.
At some point,
at some point. But the thing I can't get my head around is and I haven't sung it. I'm not sure if I will.
No,
but
it's weird.
That doesn't.
No, I was watching the Test match cricket, and they obviously had, the first day was rained off, the second day was cancelled because the Queen had passed, but they decided they'd allow them to go ahead. So on the third day it opened with a minute's silence, and then God Save the King. And there was this singer came out and she did it, and I kept thinking to myself, imagine how difficult that is, because you have your whole life is God Save the Queen.
Yeah.
So every time you come to, that music's going, and you just, God save our gracious King. Yeah, Queen. There's going to be a lot of quings. There is going to be a lot of quings.
It's going to be known as Queen Charles III.
Yeah, Queen Charles III. Oh, dear, crazy. Like I said, mad times. But focusing on the football then, we did have our game against Man City cancelled. As of this moment of recording, and I need to say that, the game against Leicester is going ahead. The reason why I just say it with that tiny little bit of tinge of doubt in my voice is because my understanding is there is still a long discussion going on over policing, because obviously the police are very busy right now, because there's a massive queue currently in London.
Have you seen this
that has
queue?
to be policed, and it's
Have
ridiculous.
you seen it?
I mean,
it's insane,
mate. There is nothing more British ever in the history of the world. The thing that makes me laugh is I just know someone's going to get to the front at some point and go, "Oh, this isn't Glastonbury."
Yeah.
And what the?
and do you know what as well? I don't know. Look, Sam. I hope people have kind of worked it out over the years that I'm not a massive conspiracy theorist, right? I'm not one of these people. But, and I give it a but, I've got a strong feeling that she is not in that coffin, right? Because it is a massive security risk, because there's going to be one person that's going to want to peek in there, right? Right? And it's not going to go down well.
Could you just imagine, right? So yesterday, a kid snuck his phone in and tried to take a selfie. It's a very teenage thing to do.
Oh, God.
But this is live streamed, so the video of this kid having his phone destroyed and dragged out in a rough way is everywhere. Can you imagine what they do to someone who tried to jump the barrier and have a peek? Or grab the crown and shout, "King Bob!" You'd be on your ass, mate. You would be gone. I mean, you only got to look at what some guy in Scotland shouted at Prince Andrew, and then all of a sudden got dragged back to the 19th century.
I mean, to be fair, he had a good point, but, they did
I think if that guy is out doing a public appearance and someone wants to shout anything like that at him, you go ahead. I think when he's walking behind his mum's coffin, time and a place. Yeah, but it was a member of the public who grabbed that guy, by the way. The police then had to pretty much save him from the mob. Someone said to me the other day, it's like, oh, it's really bad for our democracy. These people are holding up signs against the monarchy and they're being dragged out by police. And I said, look, they're being dragged off and cautioned under public order offences because it's the equivalent of me in a Tottenham shirt walking into the Emirates Stadium in the Arsenal stand and holding up a sign saying all Arsenal fans are dicks.
Yeah, it is really.
I said, if you've got 1,000 people there who are mourning the Queen and are upset and are in a heightened state, and you're going to stand there going, "Fuck the Queen," someone's going to crack you. So time, place. There are plenty of opportunities. The coronation and stuff like that. When all this, if you're anti-monarchy, that's your time. Go for it. Go nuts, and the police will happily organise your protest and be there. When you're in a crowd of people like that, just ask that young man who got dragged by two large Edinburgh-looking chaps who then gave him a pasting before the police managed to get to him. It is not the time, not the place. No. My opinion, obviously, just my opinion.
No,
but
I agree.
It's like, come on, pick your moment and pick it better.
You're right. I agree with what you said, but I don't agree with what you said. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, the guy deserves. You know, back in the olden times, Charles would hand him a pistol and go sort it out. just go end it for us all, because we can't even walk in a procession for our mother's funeral without you bringing the whole freaking family down because of what you did, you asshole. Yeah. Oh, the good old days. Anyway, right, back to football. We have got a game to talk. I've tried to avoid it. I've gone 10 minutes trying to avoid it, but we have got a game to talk about. We did play in the Champions League. We went to Sporting Lisbon and we lost 2-0. We lost 2-0 in literally the 90th and the 91st minute, conceding. I'm still trying to process how I feel about this. And I'll lay out what's on my mind, and then you come in and tell me where I am and tell me where you are. Sure. I felt for a little while that we're not fully clicking, and we've been picking up results, and you're kind of looking at it going, oh, you can just see that we're like trying that extra pass, or that player's trying that extra step, and it's just not fully clicking, but we are getting results. And it's been kind of like, it's good that we're getting the results, but I really want to see us get this going. You know, something's not quite right. And the other thing that's been a little bit concerning for me is when it's not been quite right, and you've looked at it, and a couple of players have looked maybe fatigued and not quite on. I've not really followed why Conte is not making changes, and he doesn't seem to be making changes until sort of later on, but when he has, it has had an impact. Think of the game against Marseille, Richarlison, you know, the impact Kulusevski made when he came on was phenomenal. So I'm kind of like, I'm not really following that. So part of me, and this may sound really stupid to everybody, part of me is kind of happy we lost. Not happy we lost, but kind of like, maybe we needed to lose for everyone to get a collective smack of like, look, you can't keep playing below your best and picking up results, because at some point a team will beat you, you know, and the team, because if you did that like against Man City, the scoreline could have been ridiculous, especially the way Haaland's playing at the moment. But against Sporting Lisbon, you know, we kind of, the whole game, we were just squandering our chances, just not clicking, and they punished us in the last couple of minutes. 100% Hugo Lloris had made 2, maybe 3 world-class saves in the game. So, you know, again, the scoreline could have been a lot worse. But yeah, so for me, it's kind of like, I'm annoyed we lost, but maybe we needed that. Maybe that's going to help us, like, slap us and bring us back, make the players go, crap, you know, we do have to up our level. We can't just keep playing like this and picking up results. So that's where I'm at. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of a bit weird, conflicted, still processing. What about yourself?
Yeah, you're right, Sam. Look, none of us like to see us Spurs lose, and especially not in that manner. Because I think I couldn't watch it. I was at work, but I was kind of trying to keep up with the scoreline on my phone, and then I saw 1-0, and I just messaged the group and I gut punch, because it was a gut. It's always a gut punch when it happens. So it's a horrible feeling. Yeah, it's horrible. And I just thought 0-0. Not perfect result, but I'll take a draw away. Sporting Lisbon means we'll be on 4 points. You know, I'll take that for now. So it was crap that we lost, but I guess I think you seemed quite pragmatic afterwards, and I think you said onwards and upwards, and it's. Although we lost, it's kind of like you said, maybe it's the kick up the bum we need, and if we're going to lose a game. Possibly that's not the worst one to lose, because if it does give us a kick up the bum, and then we end up, because I mean we've got Eintracht Frankfurt, haven't we? A couple of games.
Just say Frankfurt.
Frankfurt. There we go.
Right,
we've got those two, and we've got Sporting Lisbon at home, so they're winnable games, right? I'm not saying we're going to win them, but they're winnable games. So. It's not the end of the world, you know. If we can have this kick up the bum, then it's not going to be it's not going to put a massive dent in our season. That defeat, as much as we don't like defeats, hopefully won't affect things too much. So I'm glad that was the game. You know, I think if it had been possibly like the West Ham away game or something like one which was a bit more kind of. You know, against local rivals, and it's going to possibly affect. But this is the one that, like, you're away at Portugal. We're back in the Champions League after a few years. We're still trying to find a fit, I guess. Again, now we're back in it. Let's just use that as a massive learning curve and move on, and then hopefully still finish first or second in the group. You know, but and you're right. And I think I read somewhere, I don't know if you saw it, that Conte had the players in. He brought their training forward the next day.
He did, right. I was going to mention that.
Yeah, so he's obviously. Pissed off, right? And so the proof's going to be in the pudding on Saturday, isn't it? If the game, like you said, it does go ahead, which I hope it does, the proof will be in the pudding on Saturday. And I know we're going to make the mistake now of not answering the fan questions first, because I want to mention something that's in one of the questions.
I didn't even know we had any.
Yeah, I'm sure. Did we ask any? Was it no, maybe it's the Instagram? Did we get an Instagram question?
I didn't ask any this week because I got a bit depressed just reading the sheer amount of comments on our defeat.
Oh, fair enough.
I didn't want to invite the hatred.
Right.
But we have got a couple of messages that have been sent into to Instagram.
Instagram.
So It could be the one from Island Brother you're thinking of.
It's the one I was going to mention of Sonny and Sonny's form and how I just think that it's now the time for Sonny to get dropped.
Okay, yeah, that was one that was sent in by Sean Williams.
Yeah, it's
so let me read it.
Go on,
Sean Williams said, "Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It saddens me to ask this as a diehard Heung-min Son fan, but at what point do you believe we will drop him to start Richarlison, Kane, and Kulu up front?" So yeah, go for it, mate.
It's got to be the Leicester game, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It's got to be. I feel like Son. Look, I love Son. We all love him. He's a legend at the club.
Massively, yeah.
And he's still, and it's not like he's, I'm not saying he's was a legend and he's now coming.
Yeah,
he's still in his prime. He's just he's going
he's
for.
Done.
He's done.
He's had a few bad games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's still there. He's still there. We've still got that Sonny, but he's just struggling. There's something that's just so not right with him at the moment, and it's affecting our performances. It really is. And then Kulusevski comes on and just changes the game, and you just think we've got to start. And even I'd argue, and Seb and I was talking about when I was dropping off at school this morning. He made a good point that Kane's struggling as well. Like
Kane is struggling.
Yeah.
He struggled against Sporting Lisbon, and to be honest with you, again, I think this comes back to they've been kind of at a level, and that level's been getting them over the line. But hopefully this defeat will show them you need to up it, because his first touch in that game was appalling, and that's something you give to Kane. You put the ball up to him, he'll hold it up brilliantly, and in that game, just no, it was all over the place.
Do you think he like Son and or Kane should be dropped for Leicester then?
Me personally, if I was picking the team for Leicester, there again, there's kind of two trains of thought on this. One is you pick the team that didn't perform in the Champions League and you send them out there and you go, right, you have got to this game to prove to me why you are starting, because I've got a squad of players ready to dispossess you. So you go out and you put it right. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of one train of thought, and I know Conte is kind of quite big on the personal responsibility of, I'm telling you, you were crap, you need to fix it. The other train of thought for me is Sonny has been so out of form and he kept playing him. So obviously coaches think he's one of those players that if you drop him, his head will drop. And therefore, if you keep playing him, he'll grab a goal, want to go in off his shin, and then that's it, he's flying. But I think Glenn Hoddle made a great point when he was a pundit, which is sometimes you actually need to be withdrawn for your own good, because you sit on the bench, you see the game different, and you kind of like, you either get that kick in the ass to go, I need to get back to my best, or the pressure comes off you a little bit, and that enables you. And also, like you said about Kulusevski coming on, looks like $1 million, changes the game. He did again against Sporting Lisbon. He was beating people. He was doing stuff that no one else had done in the game. But he is coming on against tired legs. Maybe Sonny needs to be put on the bench and come on with 20 minutes to go against tired legs, and he'll get his confidence back. So it is, to me, I would start Kane, Richarlison and Kulusevski. I would start those three, and I would have them rotate. I would literally have the three of them and say, right, you three are up front. I don't care who's right. I don't care who's left. I don't care who's in the middle. Just friggin' move around. Pull the defenders everywhere. And, but as long as one of you's left, one of you's right, one of you's in the middle, I just want you to rip this defence to shreds. Because they are all good in the air. They are all, so they can all be in there as a 9, if you know what I mean. They are all good with their feet. They can all beat people. They can all pick passes. Let them go out there and cause chaos. And if it works, then Sonny's got to work hard to get back in the team.
Yeah, yeah.
But, and so that'd be from me. But again, like, you can go through the team like Bentancur and Højbjerg are Conte's clear favourites. They're the ones he wants to pick. But both of them in that game against Sporting Lisbon were below par. And the whole team were, so I'm not picking on them. Both got booked. And I'm kind of like, we signed Basuma, who last season, without a doubt, one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League.
He tore us apart, didn't he, when he played us? Yeah,
he did massively. Yeah, he ain't getting a kick, and I'm like looking at this, and I'm trying to work it out, and it kind of brings me on to my next point that I want to make, which is kind of like my core discussion today, which is obviously with the club and the way it works, Paratici makes the signings, he does it, and we're all of the belief that Conte is obviously heavily involved in this. But when you look at the way he's not using the squad, do you have any sort of fear that we've made all these signings and actually he doesn't feel like we've improved? Because last season he quite bluntly told the press, like, I look to my bench and there's nothing there. We're all looking at the bench now going, there's options. Hello. There's other players. There are people right there. Hello. And he just doesn't seem to be picking them. And even in his pre-match press conference for Sporting Lisbon, he kind of threw Lucas and Gil in the bin by saying he's got 4 players in the front for the front 3. And I'm like, you've got Lucas and Gil as well.
Mm.
And what are they thinking right now? I know Lucas is just coming back from an injury, but those two kind of like, hello, we're here too.
Yeah.
Pape Matar is there, Oliver Skip is there, and not getting a game, not getting any minutes at all. And for me personally, that's driving me insane.
But he doesn't.
So difficult.
He does. Look, he doesn't. I don't know if. So last season, he was talking about the bench being quite weak.
Yeah.
But he never rotated the team. Like every game we go to, every home game we go to, we could predict the first 11. And I think that's quite a novel thing, because in the past I've never really been able to do that. I know you have, and I used to call you the secret Pochettino, didn't I? But I could never really predict.
I was always one out.
Yeah, you was one out. But this every game, me and Seb get it 11 out of 11 every single game, because he's not rotating. He's playing the same 11 every time. And I think is that because last season he had the weak bench, or does he just like sticking to the 11 players he knows he can trust, and therefore this season,
and that's the question,
and therefore this season he's doing the same, and he's got the stronger bench, but because he likes to stick to that 11, it's almost like irrelevant that bench. And it's there it's just in case. It's like a parachute underneath your seat when you're on an aeroplane. If you're not going to need it.
It's like for me, it's a little bit of a worry, because I'm not in the kind of don't get me wrong, I'm not no coach is above criticism. I mean, we're fans, we're all gonna have opinions. He is a fantastic coach with a fantastic record, but it is something that is starting to puzzle me. It is starting to be like, I don't understand what we're doing here, because you can make 5 subs this year.
Yeah.
In the summer, Paratici and Conte talked about the fact that this is going to be a weird-ass season because of the World Cup, and we need a bigger squad because of it.
Mm.
We've got it, and it's not being used. You look at every other team, and I'm watching a lot of football at the moment. They are using their 5 subs. Everyone is using their 5 subs because they know that, like, I'm watching, like, we talk about Haaland a lot at the moment. He's being subbed practically every game. He is being subbed off in like 80 minutes in the Premier League, and it's like getting a round of applause because he scored 2 or 3 already. But he is being subbed, and the reason for that is because even if you're just saving him 10 minutes in a game, you're banking that. You're saving him, you're doing it. Because Man City know, like us in the Champions League, they're playing 2 to 3 games a week. Every week until the World Cup starts, and then most of the squad's going to go off to the World Cup. Haaland isn't, ironically.
Yeah.
But then they're all going to come back and be back to 2 to 3 games. And now we've got games postponed as well. Man City have had 2 games postponed. Post-World Cup, it's not going to get any easier. League Cup, FA Cup. So it's going to be insane. And if you've progressed in the Champions League or dropped into the Europa League or whatever, if you're still in Europe, it's going to be insane. So you need that squad. Now, I don't know whether in his head he's thinking, later in the season, I'm going to need every player I've got here. But, of course, if you get to the point where you're 20 games into a season and then you go, right, Basuma, you're starting, the kid's going to need like 4 or 5 games to be match fit. He's not, they're not. It's not just that they're not starting, they're not getting any minutes.
But he did, he started Basuma against West Ham. Like, what did you make of his performance then?
He was poor.
Yeah. Has Conte seen that and just thought, well, do you know what then? I'm going to have to put you back on the bench, mate.
It'd be harsh, in my humble opinion, to give someone their first start, go, yeah, you were crap, and write them off. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be that, but to me, it would be pretty harsh.
It's almost like he's gone to his default.
Difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
it's a difficult one because you're looking at it and you're kind of like, things aren't really clicking, or we're being overrun in midfield, and you're looking at these different things. And one of the criticism I saw the other day was, look, teams are going to block deep with Tottenham because Tottenham don't have a creative player. And I've always said one of the best creative midfielders at number 10s in world football is Harry Kane. So that being the case, if we want to break a team down, go, okay, Kulusevski, Son, Richarlison, you're the front three. Harry, drop off and sit deep,
Yeah,
because he'll pick passes all day. Like, if you, at the moment, everywhere Harry goes, he's got a player on him. He's got a player on him. If he comes right deep and is picking passes from midfield, he'll be like Ericsson, when we all know it. So we've got the option in the squad to do that. It's he's right there. Yeah, of course, Conte wants him to be the number 9 in the box, but he is still a phenomenal player to do that. Kulusevski said constantly he sees himself as a number 10. He wants to be central. He wants to be able to get on the ball and dictate the game. Lucas has done it, and done it very well. His dribbling always draws fouls, always draws people to him, and if he can get the ball away, typically it opens up space for other people. So there are options there in the squad, and I think from my point of view, it's just a little bit troubling that, or not trouble. I don't know, because we've lost one game in like our last 19. I think someone pointed out. It's hardly horrific. We're third in the league. It's not like we're in disaster stations and we need to like be worried. But the thing that I think perhaps, and this is going to come on a little bit to what Island Brother said, and Island Brother, I'm not going to read this out, but we're going to touch on this for you, is I think a lot of us as fans have got Jose Mourinho PTSD, which is we were playing crap, but we were getting results, and then all of a sudden, boom, it went to hell because the team were playing crap and we weren't getting results, and it just crashed, didn't it? Remember, we were like top of the league, and like we were all going, bloody hell, this is the Jose way. None of us really like watching it, but God, we're going to win something. And then whack, it went to shit, bad. And because this season we're kind of like, and we ended last season playing really great football, Conte ball and destroying teams and really pulling them up, doing well. And we saw all the preseason, we made good signings. They got in early to get the preseason. We've heard about this insane fitness work the team have done. And they just don't, perhaps that insane fitness, perhaps they're knackered. Perhaps in the second part of the season, we're going to see serious benefits from it. But perhaps right now they're like blowing out my ass. I don't know, but it's kind of like, I don't know whether it's the expectations were raised, but I got this Jose PTSD, which is not playing that well, grabbing results, and I'm now nervous something's about to crash. I obviously want desperately for that loss to be the kick in the ass, and it clicks, and we go, here we are. This is what we were expecting, and we move on. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think there's an element of like a little bit of the Jose hangover still, like it nagging at us, like, oh no, don't do that again?
I know. Well, we and you, we talk about going back much further than that, don't we? And it's
Yeah,
hard
well,
to it's hard to get out of your head. But yeah, more recently with Mourinho.
Yeah.
I feel like under Mourinho, when we talked earlier about Son and Kane, it was the reliance was almost 100% on them two.
So those two were phenomenal, and they bailed us out.
Yeah, they did basically. Yeah, if they were playing like they are now, then we wouldn't have even started well. I feel for me that. Look, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat. I'm not going to say that we're playing amazing and it's all very, we think we're not. And I think that the thing we do, I think the problem we've got at the moment is, I think Conte's kind of playing with this system almost where he's inviting the kind of the possession from the opposing team, and then looking to get Son, Kane and Richarlison almost on the break, just give them that freedom. If we can draw their defenders up high on the pitch, then we're giving them the space, and it's kind of it's inviting the opposition in, And I feel like when you watch the games, it looks like the other team are completely dominating. And I guess to an extent they are, because they're getting more possession, more, but and so it gives it the impression that we're playing really poorly. And I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to say that the players are all on fire and it's just it's deceptive. I know they're not playing particularly great, but I think with the way Conte's playing, that's adding to it.
No, you do make a really good point, because when the team's on the ball, there is a perception they're controlling the game. And I can't think who it was, but it was someone, I think it was Jamie Carragher, said it's kind of one of Conte's things, which is he said it's deceiving. He said because they're not. He said because Tottenham are controlled. And he kind of did this breakdown where it was like, this other team have had possession, like 10% more possession than Tottenham. You look at that and you go, they've dominated the game. He said they've not had any control. He said, yeah, they got the ball. He said, but Tottenham have got their shape and the team can't go through them. He said, because when they try, Tottenham win the ball back. And if they win the ball back high up, he's like, that front three, you're screwed. He said, so you're actually nervous. He said, so you're on the ball and you're like, can't give it away. Simple pass. Can't give it away. Simple pass. He said, and so, yeah, you've got the ball and you've got control for a couple of minutes, but you're not doing anything because you can't escape this kind of system and the shackles that are put on you. And then when Tottenham do win it back, he said the transition is terrifying. It can really beat teams. What I think the point is at the moment is because individuals are playing so poorly, that transition's breaking down. Like,
exactly.
We saw, who was it? We were playing our last league game and there was Sonny on the ball and Sonny's running and we've got a 3-on-3 counter. And this is Sonny's time to shine. This is his thing. He just dribbled into the defender.
Yeah, it's Fulham, wasn't it? We was there.
He just he didn't couldn't pick a pass.
He just completely slowed. Do you know what? He was coming towards us, Sam, and honestly, it felt like that Burnley goal was like he's just flying, and then suddenly he just slowed down, stopped, and then just let the ball gave the ball away. We're like, what just happened?
But that's the thing. It is such a shock. Like you see Sonny go through 1-on-1, it wouldn't surprise you if it doesn't go in because he's got time to think about it. Him. Sonny, the ball comes to him, he hits it, it's a goal. Sonny, loads of time. You're like, oh no, go on, will he? Won't he? But with this, running at a defence with options either side of him, you're like, this is Sonny's time to shine. This is at pace. Someone's going to move. If the defender goes to one of them, he's going to go straight through and score. If the defender comes to him, he's going to release Kane or Kulusevski or Richarlison, whoever it was. And no, just nothing. And that's where we're at, because it's not just him as well. Like you see Kane. Kane is brilliant at that, holding the ball up and flicking it around. Like Sonny runs off him or Richarlison runs off him. They're just not going. Like the passes are being blocked. They're just not happening. And it's not like I saw again someone say, "Oh, Tottenham are well scouted now. Everyone knows how they play." I'm like, yeah, but everyone knows how we played last season. This is not like a shock. It's just that the quality that like we were saying about, the team need to up their level. At the moment, they're in third gear and they were still picking up results and going, "Oh, this is good."
Yeah.
And Sporting Lisbon, I hope I've just shown them, no, you can't coast in third gear. Because in the Champions League, especially, and against the top teams in the Premier League, you are going to lose. Yeah. You are going to not pick up results. And I'm hopeful always that against Leicester, after the Lisbon result and after getting a bit of a slap in training from Conte, they do go up the level. Because if they do, they can win well in that game. And I do feel like if they win well in a game, okay, we're at fifth gear, bang, we've won a game, we've won it well. That feeling and that kind of, this is where we need to be. And, Hugo Lloris after the Lisbon game was just, you could see it on his face, like, I did everything to try and help us in that game. And he kind of just said, like, we're going to really look at this. We're really going to analyse this. And I remember, and it's on such a different level, I know, but I remember like sometimes I would come off the field playing a game and just be, what the hell happened? How did we lose that? We were great. And you can kind of go, we were great, we were unlucky, and move on from it. But if you come off the field and you're like, nah, we were crap. We didn't deserve that. You then only got like one place to go, and that's up.
Yeah.
Because it just has to be. It just has to be better. And the midfield, I saw a lot of criticism, like the midfield are overrun, they're not doing enough. The funny thing is like you said, the way we play, those two in the middle have got like a completely thankless task of just trying to hold everything together. They're not going to look world-beating, threading these wonderful passes. They're not going to look like that because really it's the wing-backs. So their job is to kind of just keep the ball moving, break up play if the opposition get it, and that's it. So it's very difficult for them to shine, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The wing-backs, I don't know what to say about this again, because Perisic is a phenomenal player, and his delivery from the dead ball is a weapon that has to be used as much as possible.
He's got the throwing as well that we've got now as well.
Yeah, I know. What was that?
Yeah.
That seemed to shock everyone. I've got to say, Emerson Royale is a much, much improved player, definitely. But his performance in the last couple of games, I think, again, warrants another player starting against Leicester. Matt Doherty was playing great before he got injured. Bring him in.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I would start him and Sessegnon and have the others on the bench. We signed Jed Spence, and again, not getting a kick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I've said this a few times during the podcast. I'm at a bit of a loss. I'm kind of like trying to justify it. I'm kind of like trying to think of what to do. I'll tell you who was under par as well, and has been under par a little bit since his injury. QT Romero.
Do you think?
Yeah. I'll tell you for what, he plays on the edge. He plays absolutely right there. Taking people down and being right aggressive. The ball comes to him and he intercepts it a lot. But one of the things I also like about him is he's so calm on the ball and he'll pick a pass. So you won't just go, oh no, I'm on the ball and smash it long. He's calm, he'll play it forward and typically to a Tottenham player. And against Sporting Lisbon, he lost the ball more in that game than I've ever seen him lose the ball. Just poor passing, just picking the pass wrong. And he just didn't seem to be his aggressive best. And there was one point he went down, and I was like, oh, maybe he's carrying an injury or something's wrong. And he got up, splashed water all over his face, and really quite angry, he was just angry at himself. I don't know. I mean, it was still 0-0 at this point, but again, yeah, just not. I don't know. He just doesn't look himself. Doesn't look the same right now. But again, that could just be because the whole team's not looking, as cohesive and as good. He'll play against Leicester and he'll probably, snap someone in the opening minute and feel better about himself. But I do just want to say one more thing about the Sporting Lisbon game, because I feel like as a Tottenham Academy nerd, I need to bring this up. Marcus Edwards was amazing. It was both incredibly satisfying and disturbingly upsetting to watch him rip us apart like he did continuously. I don't know how Eric Dyer must have been feeling as young Edwards dribbled past him on multiple occasions. I will never know how he didn't score that goal, and Lloris managed to save it with the inside of one of his legs, I think. And if he had scored that goal, it probably would have won Champions League goal of the month or whatever and lived on in Champions League history forever, because it was incredible. If Messi had done that, the world would still be talking about it. He was great. A lot of questions about Marcus Edwards and stuff, and a few things. Alistair Gold of Football London wrote a really good summary, which when we sold him, we basically let him go for nothing, but with a 50% sell-on clause. The club then sold him to Sporting Lisbon, but there was a lot of negotiations, and we as a club allowed that clause not to be activated, but has transferred to the new club. So basically, Sporting Lisbon have got him. There's a £50-odd million release clause in his contract, and technically we're due half of whatever they sell him for. But and stupidly 10% of that we then got to give to this other club. But yeah, so in essence 40% we'd end up with. I saw a fair few people and a fair few comments go, buy him back, buy him back, waive that 40%, it makes it affordable, buy him back, buy him back, buy him back now. I don't know, just for me, seeing him play in the Champions League, and not just play in the Champions League, but shine in the Champions League, when I used to watch him play in like academy games and stuff, is strange. Wonderful, but strange. And there's a lot of people who used to watch him who'd say, that kid's got everything, he could make it, but the big issue was behind the scenes, you know, which he now says himself, which is kind of delightful that he recognises he was a pain in the ass. But yeah, I don't know, have you actually, did you get to see much of the game? I know you were working.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I caught the last 15 minutes of the first half, and I saw that.
So you saw that run?
That run, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame because, and you know, he's obviously developed into a fantastic player.
Yeah.
But I think part of what you have to think about, and he talked about that release clause, is that Spurs must have known that he was gonna had the potential to be a fantastic player. So they wouldn't have put a release clause like, a sell-on clause like that on.
No.
And it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame that he kind of, you know, like you said, he's recognised his shortcomings with his attitude, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's corrected that now, and it's just a shame he didn't do it, I guess, when he was on our books.
Yeah.
But look, I guess that
it is a shame, yeah. But yeah, at the same time, I'm kind of happy for it. You know, I'm kind of delighted for him. You watch, you know, he's played 2 games in the Champions League. He's got a goal and assist in the first one, and in the second one against the club we grew up at. You know, he joined us at like 8 years old. He was for me man of the match. He was amazing. You know, every time he got the ball, he was able to turn and run into space and just create. You know, that ability to do that, running off of Højbjerg and Bentancur the whole game. I mean, one of them should have brought... I mean, to be honest with you, we should have brought on Skip. Skip would have come on and snapped him. Hello, mate.
Yeah.
Remember me?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, oh God, hold up. Mate, Marcus Edwards versus Oliver Skip, I don't know what I'd have done. I'd have lost my mind, but I'm telling you, Skippy would have took him down hard early on and just stood over him. Welcome back. Welcome back to training. Yeah. I love him. So yeah, I don't know. The Leicester game, I don't know how to feel about it, because Leicester aren't playing very well this season. Much like all the teams, they're kind of there, but not fully clicking. At our place, I really think we should be winning this game. Like, I feel like this is a game we should go out and win. I know in the Premier League that's so dangerous to say, but I feel like and also I feel like we really need it. Like, we really need a performance. We really need to go out there and hit the level I know we can hit, because if we don't, it's like we're drifting. You know, it's like we're just kind of not. There's not. I don't know what the right word is, but it just feels like we don't have a direction at the moment. Like, it's kind of like, oh, this is the team I'm going to start every week, and we're picking up results. We're not really playing that well, but we're still picking up results, so I'm going to keep picking them. And it just almost like, start this game, 2 or 3 changes, and let those 2 or 3 and those players who come in, please come in and do something great. You know, just come in and change the game. Like, maybe Son hits the bench, Kulusevski, as I'm going to call him, comes on, scores a goal, gets an assist, and everyone goes, there you go.
Yeah. You
know, Son is out of form, and just having the player who's ready has made everything click. And then Sonny will look at that and be like, shit, I need to sort myself out, you know. And all of a sudden, you bring Sonny on for 10 minutes to go in a game, and he's phenomenal. His confidence comes straight back. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's like, you know, you just need something to happen, because I don't know about you, but I'm watching it and I'm like, it's like one pass away. It's like one person making the right decision, and all of a sudden this is going to click into gear and we're going to look good. That's how I feel anyway, and maybe that's why I'm frustrated, because it's kind of like, oh, it's right there.
I said that when we watched when we went to see the Marseille game. I know we won it. Obviously, they had a player sent off,
Yeah,
which helped. But
yeah,
that first half, it wasn't great. But it was almost like it was such a small margin on, like,
yeah.
if the ball had gone either way, if there was
No, I completely agree. Yeah.
it's almost there. It's almost like we need Lady Luck just to blow us a kiss, don't we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Your Majesty, from on high, you could bless thy side to which your team you clearly support. We're clearly supported in your life. If we could just have that blessing now to try and get us over the line.
Do you know what I feel like as well, Sam? I know I talk about when games are being played and how they can sometimes make a difference. I
Yeah,
feel like a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday at
yeah,
home could benefit us.
yeah. I want. Yeah, I agree. Actually, yeah, I completely get what you're saying, and the atmosphere. It enables the team. The ones I hate are like after a European fixture, 12:30.
Yes. Yeah, I
It's
hate
like,
them.
what are you doing to a team?
Yeah.
Why do that? Anyone who's in Europe should not be kicking off at that time. They should play on a Sunday, but if they're going to play on a Saturday, let them have the evening or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let us play at 3.
Yeah. That crazy idea.
I've heard Saturday at 3 p.m. some football gets played. Why don't we do it? So I know it's TV, and I know they pay a lot of money to be allowed to do it. But yeah, I just it's like we're right there,
Yeah.
and I think that's why fans are like right on the edge, frustrated because, like I said, a little bit of Jose PTSD, but a little bit of that kind of I can see it. I can see the players; they're all great. Just why isn't it, just doing what it should? And if we can do it against Leicester, I think there will be a collective like, okay, the Lisbon result. We park that now. We play poorly and maybe don't get a result against Leicester. I feel like this anxiety is going to really grip.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think that's why we can probably allow ourselves to be a little bit pragmatic after this defeat
Yeah.
because we can kind of see we're on the cusp, and we just need that kind of we need the players to click and the
Yeah.
luck to fall us.
And maybe that defeat can be the kick, And also, Conte's record in the Champions League is
It's not great.
shocking.
So isn't it like
No.
out of
Yeah.
nine seasons, he's only got out of the group stage like something like 3 times or something?
It is very, very rare,
Yeah.
I can say, that Tottenham Hotspur's got a better record than Antonio Conte.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But we have. Our Champions League record is better under Redknapp and Pochettino than it ever is Conte's record with all the teams he's had, which is weird. Very weird. So the last thing, just want to talk about it because it's just this one final thing that came up this week. And I wanted to put it to you because me and you had a cracking debate about the European Super League ages ago when that thing was floated.
Yeah.
We really sort of went at it from all the sides we could come up with. I really enjoyed that. And I read an article this week and I wanted to put it to you because I was just like, oh, wow, I have never thought about it this way. So the article is written by a journalist in Italy who said that the European Super League failed because of fan pressure in England on English clubs. And once the English clubs withdrew, it was just dominoes. Everyone kind of had to withdraw. And he's kind of like, the main reason why it is, he said, because currently there is a Super League in Europe, and it's the English Premier League. And he pointed out the financial disparity between Premier League clubs and the absolute top clubs in other leagues. So he did a breakdown between Bayern Munich in Germany, Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Juventus, Paris Saint-Germain, and I know a couple of those clubs I've mentioned are very backed. PSG, for example, very heavily backed by foreign investment. But he's doing this based on the revenue from ticket sales and TV money. The lowest placed Premier League club, so the lowest placed team which finishes just outside, so not the relegated, the lowest placed team that stays in the league for the last 5 seasons has got a higher revenue than all of those European clubs I just mentioned.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, because of the TV money.
Wow.
So in Italy, if you win Serie A, your TV money comes in at about 20 million euros. in England, if you win the Premier League, you are talking hundreds of millions of pounds. If you finish in just outside the relegation space, so the bottom Premier League club that you can remain in the division, you still earn more than winning the Bundesliga.
It's nuts, isn't it? That's nuts.
But don't you think that's a really interesting debate? Because this European Super League debate is coming around again because they basically want to form one and exclude us. No English clubs allowed. They're basically saying that no one can compete because of the TV money and the disparity. It's now got to the point where, players, top players, you can go to these clubs probably because of the names of the clubs, the prestige. But yeah, someone said you go to a top club, you go to PSG, you're not playing top games every week in front of loads of fans. You're not playing top teams every single week, but you go to the Premier League, even the teams who are relegation fodder have got some quality players in the side and are well supported and sold out grounds. And so, you might go to a PSG and play 10 Champions League games a season, which are next level, and maybe 4 or 5 domestic. Go to the Premier League, you're playing 30 plus games a season that are all sell out massive matches, plus Europe, plus everything else, and you learn more money. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting debate. I'll try and find the article for you if you're interested.
Yeah.
But it is, I'd never thought of it. And probably because I'm here in England, you don't. But from the outside looking in now, people are kind of pissed, and they're looking at it going, it isn't fair, and it needs to change. From our point of view, and from the Premier League point of view, of course, it's kind of like, well, our league's really good to watch, so broadcasters are paying a lot of money to watch it, to televise it. Make your league better, and you learn more money.
That's the thing. That's the thing, and I guess that's where it comes down to. Because I know in the past you and I have spoken about when Italian football used to be on Channel 4 on a Sunday.
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah, it was great that you could watch Italian football, but I'm not going to lie, I never was thoroughly entertained watching it. It was like watching a game of chess. That they're very, very good players, very, very good players, technical players, but it was very much like a chess game. Whereas, like you said, with English football or Premier League football, it's just constant, isn't it? Constant. One team attacks, the other team attacks. There's always going to be chances. Like against Leicester on Saturday, I'd like to think we're going to win, but I guarantee Leicester will have chances. They'll be coming forward. We'll be going forward.
Massively,
it's constant.
Everyone will. Yeah,
it's a very entertaining game to watch. And Premier League games tend to be very entertaining. Yeah. You've only got. I'm going to put the kiss of death on it now. But when's the last time you saw a 0-0? Like for us anyway, for Spurs.
That's it, Matt. Well, there I was hoping for a good solid win and a great performance. 0-0, boring crap it's going to be.
But you don't see many
in Premier League history to not have a shot.
But you don't see many of them. Like I think I might have mentioned. I think I might have mentioned before. My brother-in-law puts a bet on every season, and it's that every game in the week. All teams will score, so all 10 Premier League fixtures, every team will score, and I think he gets it he wins it twice, a couple of times a season, I think, but it's on the whole,
it's a decent bet.
Yeah, on the whole, most teams score. It's always entertaining. It's always entertaining, and look, we've got the top, a lot of the, if you sort of look at the top maybe 10 managers in Europe, we've probably got at least 7 or 8 of them, haven't we, here in the Premier League?
Yeah, we have.
We
have, mate. There's no denying it. The league draws the best, and a lot of that's because it pays the best, but a lot of it because managers and people look at it and go, every week's a challenge. Yeah. Every week is going to be difficult.
And entertaining.
And players, and entertaining. And players look at it and go, do I want to play in a league where I can, and by the way, it suits some players. Tanguy Ndombele
doesn't suit.
scored for Napoli last night in the Champions League.
Right.
Clearly, that guy suits being able to coast certain games and pick and play others. Premier League, you can't. Like, and some players you see, like, they take a long time to adjust because they arrive and they're like, oh, bloody hell, we were playing against a team from League One in the FA Cup and I thought I'd get time on the ball, and this guy just kicked the crap out of me and called me a froggy git. What the hell's that about? You know? And you're like, yeah, mate, welcome to England.
Exactly,
You play against a lower league team, they're not just going to bend over for you. This is their World Cup final and they're going to hit you.
Yeah.
And worst of all, the referees in the FA Cup normally are from that division, and they're like, yeah, get up.
Yeah, completely.
Although refereeing as a whole, anyway, that's a whole other podcast. Mate, I think we'll call it there. It is Leicester. Hopefully that result will spark a reaction, because if it does, then it was almost worth it, if you know what I mean. Spark a reaction and get us really going again.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, forever hopeful. But thank you for joining me. Thank you to everybody for listening. We'll really appreciate it. I didn't do a fan questions this week. I explained why. After the defeat, I just read the comments in our Facebook page and went, do you know what? Let's just have a chat this week. But it will be back next week, as will we, again on Thursday. But until then, everybody, you all take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Take care, mate.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.